like I really need to speak anymore, but I have been asked to give our 10-year report. It's really hard to believe that a whole decade has passed, but we are very excited to celebrate our 10th anniversary with you all, because so many of you have helped make it possible. I hope you've had a chance to watch the 10-year slideshow as it was looping around during dinner, and maybe found yourself in some of the slides and other people's familiar faces in some of the photos. I tried to see if there was anyone who had been to all of our fundraising dinners to recognize them tonight, but since I don't have a record of every single person's names who attended, especially those of you who might have been invited by one person or another over the years, so I can't be sure. I think the only non-board member who has attended all of them is my mom. If there is anyone, however, who has been to all of them and I'm wrong, please do let me know. But whether you have been to all or many or just one, I mean, we appreciate you, those of you who have continued to come year after year to our dinners and give to ACCESS financially, especially during the very lean years of the economic downturn recently. I guess I should probably wait to this slide, sorry. With or without the recent global financial crisis, we have continued to face financial challenges over the past few years, always far short of budgeted funds. Initially as a new organization starting from scratch, then through the recession and having to cut costs and cut back on personnel hours, almost losing our main office, but more so because it's been a lot of pioneering work. Counseling is, after all, a very Western concept. So it's not common practice in Asian cultures. And since Asian cultures are very shame-based, the stigma is probably even stronger than in Western culture. I knew of these cultural obstacles and barriers, and that I'd be doing a lot of pioneering work when I agreed to move back here to help start ACCESS from California. But it's definitely been a lot more uphill battle than I expected. Even though when most people have heard about ACCESS, the response has been very positive, and there continues to be demand for our workshops and seminars, getting people to actually come in for counseling, much less commit to coming in for more than one or two times, has still been very difficult. In addition to the cultural barriers, there's been obstacles and struggles which are less obvious, such as the lack of grants available for counseling services. There are many more grants available for health services, but not for mental health, except for services we don't provide at ACCESS, such as the treatment of severe mental illnesses, substance abuse, domestic violence, and gang prevention. On top of that, many grants exclude Christian organizations. So between being Christian and doing counseling, our eligibility for grants are slim, especially without someone experienced in grant writing. Also, unlike other businesses and organizations, we can't share a lot of what we do because, because of confidentiality, we can't share about our clients or our cases, especially since the Asian community, and even more so the Asian Christian community, can be very small sometimes. So there's a good chance someone could tell who our clients may be just by talking about their situations, even without naming any names. Last year, and at our 5th anniversary celebration, we were rare exceptions to have Janie, our former ACCESS client, be willing to share with you all. There you go. Thank you all for helping to make these 10 years possible, even without great statistics, gripping stories, and in spite of all of these obstacles. And on a personal note, I also want to thank you for your support despite having a director like me who is less than dynamic in leadership, with no previous experience in business, accounting, starting or running a nonprofit organization, etc., and especially unpolished at speaking. Although I've gotten a lot of practice, so I have improved, but I was really reluctant to take on all these hats, especially that of executive director, when I was first asked. And when I agreed, I thought it would be only for a few years until we got started and we were able to hire an executive director who was more suited for the nature of this position, so I could focus more on the counseling side of things. I know it's much easier to get behind a dynamic, eloquent, powerful speaker and leader. So I believe the fact that we've gotten this far, of course, first by God's grace, but I like to believe that it shows the value of the work that we're doing and the needs that are out there. Here we are, 10 years later, and I'm still juggling all those hats. It's definitely been a steep learning curve, but I can certainly testify to God's grace in making it to this milestone. As we approach the Thanksgiving season, it's appropriate for us to look back on the past 10 years and look forward to what the future can bring and celebrate this 10th anniversary with many thanks to God and to so many of you, as well as many who could not join us tonight. For those of you who are new to ACCESS, I did want to share a little bit about what we do, especially since you don't have your program booklets to refer to about our mission and services and history. But we do have some literature in the back table that you can pick up if you're new. Like Eugene pointed out, life is full of challenges and transitions, so everybody faces those. Some people can benefit from a little counseling. Some people really need help. Like Eugene said, big, small, medium, large. You don't have to be mentally ill or be a crazy person to go to counseling, like many Asians believe, which is, of course, another cultural barrier. For example, our premarital counseling is helpful for prevention and awareness of potential marriage problems. Or someone might just want to better understand him or herself. So whether someone comes in for self-improvement or in a major crisis, we at ACCESS are here to walk alongside him or her and help offer hope and guidance towards healing, growth, and reconciliation. ACCESS provides individual, couple, child, adolescent, and family counseling to help reconcile broken relationships, strengthen families, and facilitate psychological and emotional healing. Here's a pie chart of the client breakdown over the last 10 years, not including our counseling groups. You can see that almost half of our clients are individuals, individual adults. The specific percentage numbers are in those program booklets that you don't have, but they're in the 10-year highlights. We are here to serve the Asian and Asian American community in Atlanta to begin to fill the void of culturally sensitive counseling services that are so greatly needed. In fact, we have been looking for Asian psychologists or licensed professional counselors in Atlanta since even before we started ACCESS 10 years ago, whether to recruit for our staff or just for referrals. And we've still only found just a few. So we know these services are extremely lacking here in Atlanta, just as it is actually in most of the United States, especially for bilingual services. And that hasn't helped increase our staff. As an indication of the needs and lack of counseling services available to meet language and cultural needs for the Asian and Asian Americans, even though we're a very small organization, thanks to the internet, we have received telephone and email inquiries from all over the country, especially California and New York. And we've also received many email inquiries from as far away as Asia and Europe. Amongst the local telephone inquiries that we've had, they've included requests for services in Chinese, Korean, and Vietnamese, some of which we weren't able to meet. due to the lack of availability of staff speaking those languages at the time. But over the past 10 years, we have been able to offer counseling in 5 to 6 different Asian languages in addition to English at one time or another. We want Asians and Asian Americans in Atlanta to know that there is a safe place for them to come, where someone can speak their language and understand their cultural values. This includes American-born Asians whose parents grew up in Asia, or even those in a cross-cultural marriage, setting up cultural differences and a culture gap that can lead to a host of issues. Also amongst the telephone and email inquiries have been graduate students studying counseling and other people in counseling ministries across the country, seeking advice about issues related to counseling Asians and Asian Americans, or how to start a counseling service like ours. I've been interviewed by graduate students on the phone and have given extended phone consultations to people trying to start counseling services for Asians and Asian Americans in Seattle, Houston, and Philadelphia. So that should speak to the great need all around the country that they would consult with little old me and our tiny organization. Of course, we've also helped to nurture and train Asian and Asian American counselors who have been a part of our staff, including those who've graduated and moved back to Taiwan and Korea, as well as on to Houston, and staff working towards licensure while with us and became licensed. None of that shows on our balance sheet and isn't spelled out in our mission, but it's all a part of our decade of service and affirms why we do what we do, even if it doesn't bring in the bucks. We also strive to be a resource to the community, whether by providing consultations to ministers and other community groups, or giving educational workshops and seminars about various counseling and family-related topics. In the past 10 years, we've given 108 seminars, workshops, and talks to over 2,200 people. That's an average of almost 2 workshops per month, with continuing demand for more, so we know the needs are out there. More than half of those workshops have been in Chinese, with the help of some of our advisory board members like Dr. Chen and Dr. Lai, and various Chinese bilingual staff that we've had in the past. We were also the first in Georgia, if not the entire southeastern United States, to offer Chinese language counseling groups. Celebrating this major milestone of our 10th anniversary gives pause to reflect and not only look back with Thanksgiving, but also to reevaluate how we have been doing things and what can be done effectively. Our event theme for tonight and Eugene's sharing today was not chosen because we're necessarily anticipating any big changes or transitions, but we're taking the opportunity after this milestone to hold a board and staff retreat in January, so we are open to any kind of feedback or suggestions. We still hope to add more staff who can speak other Asian languages, especially Chinese and Korean, and we really want to look at ways to how to reach out and break down some of those barriers to counseling, which may require a different approach with Asian cultures. Of course, in order to do all of this, we do need the support of generous donors like you, so that we can offer the thousands of dollars in discounted fees that we do each year for those who cannot afford it, and to put on programs. In the past 10 years, we have offered an average discount of 48% to clients, with some clients given as much as 83% discount in fees. These clients have included single parents, those who've lost their jobs, those with financial problems, or large debts. We hope to continue to build on these first 10 years as we journey into the next decade, whatever it may look like, but we cannot do it without your help. Far more interesting than all the powerful data and statistics, far more interesting and powerful than all the data and statistics I can give you, though is to hear it directly from those we've had the privilege of working with and working alongside. Earlier I mentioned that we can't really share about our work because of confidentiality, but in honor of our 10th anniversary, we have a special treat tonight. Those of you who were at our 5th anniversary celebration may remember this, but it's worth watching again, even if you've already seen it. I know I was moved when I recently rewatched it in preparation for tonight. It's also a perfect way to lead into our fundraising and pledge time. We have a music slideshow created by one of our former ACCESS clients who was so excited about the healing she was experiencing that she wanted to share about it at our 5th anniversary celebration. And I have her permission to share it again with you tonight. Where is it? While we look for it, why don't we pick some door prizes?
Actually, at this time, there's a secret surprise that I'm about to happen. And I'm gonna ask Cecilia, come on out. Woo! Everybody's part of the surprise, so please be very, very quiet. We want to recognize someone very special, working so hard for us. Cecilia, do you want to grab her? And I'll meet you on the stage. Okay? Come on up, Cecilia, grab her. She doesn't know this yet. Here we go.
Hi everyone. My name is Cecilia Xu. I'm the president here at ACCESS. I would like to move away from the continued scheduled program tonight and take a moment to honor a long-standing contribution of our key partner in ACCESS success, our director, Rebecca Wong. Rebecca has offered her energy, time, and training to the endless mental, emotional, and spiritual needs of the Asian community here in Atlanta. As you well know, these needs are great, and they cut across race, gender, education, and class. And it is difficult to properly convey Rebecca's contribution for 2 reasons. And I think there's a whole lot more reasons. But I just want to simply list a few. And Rebecca has offered counseling to so many first and second generation Asian and Asian American clients. She's also a public speaker and seminar teachers to train or bring expertise to the community on topics like, she mentioned a few, but I also wanted to mention that through quite a bit area that she presented seminar, such as assertiveness in marriage. And also 2009, this organization introduced the CFFC USA for the marriage retreat. And that seminar went very well the last 5 years. And also helped the church co-worker about lay counseling and about understanding anxiety disorder. And also the Asian American woman mental health in the today's world. Those are the topics I can name it one after another. And also, how about understand your American-born child? And how about another big topic, growing with your teenager? Those are cross-culture or understanding your kids here, that they are American, but then we are growing together with them. And some of it already become a young adult or already enter into the society. Those are the addressed topics that we are working, try to make this community more harmony, more of love, through the difficulty that for everyone have to facing in this. This is what Rebecca, during this past 10 years, not only doing the one-on-one counseling and all the seminar that either bring out the expertise from Dr. Lai, and then several from Tabitha, and also others, which I feel that this is such a 10 years hard work that I like to use as a team that have this. We just mentioned about our sewer member. Stan, please stand up. Ken, stand up. And Tabitha, Beatrice, and Pin, we give our appreciation to Rebecca for continuing let us participate in the hard work of this community. Even though it's hard, but it's 10 years with silence of her work, sort of like under the water, but then continue to keep this organization move forward to the next 10 years. So I so much appreciate it by using this time to thank you for the hard work, for